A house with a door. Windows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready to play? What's the weather today? Hello. What's the weather like where you are today? Is it sunny, raining, or windy? In summer, it's usually sunny and warm. Lots of nice fruit to eat. Good time to go swimming. In autumn, it's windy and the leaves get blown off the trees. Lots of things turn into nice autumny colours, golds and reds. In winter, it's cold and sometimes snowy. Then you can build a snowman. But when spring comes, things begin to grow, and the sun and the rain help seeds to sprout. Just like these cress seeds sprouted a few days ago. I put the seeds onto damp cotton wool, and now the cress is fully grown. And then you can cut it and put it in a sandwich. Seeds growing in the spring.
Five small seeds a sleeping lay. A bird came down and pecked one away. Peck! How many seeds were left that day? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 small seeds a sleeping lay. A bird came down, peck, and took one away. So how many seeds were left that day? 1, 2, 3. 3 small seeds a sleeping lay. A bird came down and took one away. Peck. How many seeds were left that day? 1, 2. 2 small seeds a sleeping lay. A bird came down and took one away. So how many seeds were left that day? Just one, all on its own. I wonder if it might grow into a flower.
A small seed lying under the ground during the cold winter months. Lighter days now. Springtime is here. Time to start growing. Warm sunshine now. Buds open into flowers. Summertime. It's getting a bit colder now. Lights getting a bit darker. Autumn's here. And the leaves and the flowers start to die. Seeds fall to the ground and wait under the ground during the long winter days. Wait for the springtime and the warm sunshine. You could be a seed with me if you like. A seed lying under the ground during the winter months and wait for the lighter days to come to start growing. You ready? Get on the ground. Curl up small into a seed and wait for springtime to come. Spring is here. Start growing. Grow taller and taller. Roots firm on the ground as you grow into a flower. The sun is here, it's summertime. Open up into a flower or bask in the warm sunshine. A bit colder. Leaves are beginning to fall, flowers are dying. Drop to the ground, seeds are falling to the ground. Stay there in the winter and wait for the lighter, warmer days to come.
Flowers under the clock today. The sort of flowers that you find this time of the year growing in fields and hedgerows and gardens and even pushing their way up through the cracks in pavements. Do you know what time the clock is saying? Well, the long hand's pointing straight up, so that means it's something o'clock. But do you know what number the short hand is pointing at? Count round with me if you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So today the clock is saying 10 o'clock. Have another look at the wildflowers.
There are flowers and trees and leaves in the story today. The story is called The Happy Owls. Here they are. Once upon a time, in an old stone ruin, there lived a pair of owls. All the year through, they were very happy. On a farm nearby, there were all kinds of barnfowl who did nothing all day but eat and drink. And after they had finished eating and drinking, they began to fight with one another. They could think of nothing better to do. One day, the peacock noticed the owls, and he wanted to know why they didn't quarrel. Why were they so happy? The other birds, when they heard his question, said, "Why don't you visit the owls and ask them how they live together so peacefully?" With a deep bow, the peacock agreed to call on the owls. The peacock carefully preened his gorgeous plumage and strutted off in all his finery. At the owl's house, he spread out his tail feathers and rustled them and clawed at the ground to attract the owl's attention. The owls, they blinked their big round eyes when they heard what he wanted to know. "Ooh, well, Mr. Peacock, we'll tell you, but first, go and fetch all your friends." When the chickens, the ducks, the geese, and all the others were assembled, the owls began their story. "Well, when spring comes, we're happy to see everything come to life after the long winter sleep. The trees put forth their buds and leaves, and the meadows are covered with thousands of tiny flowers. The birds everywhere are singing merrily. Later, around every flower, bees and bumblebees are buzzing, bzzz, bzzz, and all kinds of little flies are humming, bzzz. Butterflies flit to and fro, gathering honey from golden sunflowers. Then we know that summer is here. And when everything is green and growing, and the trees are nodding their leafy crowns to us in the warm sunshine, we sit in a shady nook in the cool forest, and we are at peace with the world. Then autumn comes, and the spider, who waited through the glorious summer under a leaf, comes out and spins her web to hold up the tired leaves just a little longer. We rejoice to see her. And finally, when all the leaves are fallen and the earth is covered with snow, we come back to our cosy, warm old home, for winter is here again. What nonsense, screamed the chickens, the ducks, the peacocks and the geese, for they had understood nothing of all this. You call that happiness? And the barn fowl, who preferred to go on preening and stuffing themselves and quarrelling, turned their backs on the owls and went on living as before. But the owls snuggled closer to one another, blinked their big round eyes, and went on thinking their wise thoughts.
Perhaps you'd like to be a bird doing some pecking? Or you could peck with your hands like beaks. Like Katoo and Sparky. Right, try that. You could flap your wings. And you could waggle your tail. And you could screech like Katoo does. Shall we try putting all those things together, one after the other? Because there's a dance called the birdie dance. So we could do pecky, 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 peck. Try that. Pecky, 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 peck. You needn't say it. Flappy, 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 flap. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yes, Katoo's going to join in as well. Right, are you ready? Pecky, 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 peck. Flappy, 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 flap. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Ready to dance again? Here we go. Pecky, 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 peck.
Have you ever been to the seaside and seen shells on the beach like this? This one's a mussel shell. Lots of those around. And this one that shines in different colours, that's called mother of pearl. You can have buttons made out of mother of pearl and jewellery sometimes. Here's a long, thin shell. And one a bit like a spiky snail. Lots of different shapes and sizes. This one is a bit like a fan. Big shells like this that are shaped like that, people say if you put them up to your ear and listen, you can hear the sound of the sea. It's like waves lapping onto the sand.
Here's the sea, the wavy sea. Here's a boat, and here's me. All the little fishes down below wriggle their tails and away they go. Here's the sea, the wavy sea. Here's a boat, and Here's me. All the little fishes down below wriggle their tails and away they go into the wavy sea.
Here's the sea, the wavy sea. Have you ever seen waves come crashing in on the shore? Perhaps you've stood on a seashore watching that sometime. Everyone delights to spend their summer holidays down beside the side of the silvery sea. So save up all the money you can till summer comes around. Then away you go to a place you know where the cockle shells are found. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Yes, I do like to be beside the sea. And I do like to stroll along the prom, 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 where the brass band plays tiddly-om-pom-pom. So just let me be beside the seaside. I'll be beside myself with glee. And there are lots of girls beside. I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the sea. Two seagulls squabbling over a piece of fish. One has flown away gracefully into the sky, floating on the air, over the sea, way over the harbour. Very graceful and slow. Can you pretend that you're a seagull? You'll need very strong, long wings, ready to fly up, up, up into the sky, over the sea. I wish I was a seagull, flying o'er the sea. I wish I was a seagull, no one to bother me. I wish I was a seagull, flying o'er the deep blue sea.
These are some postcards from friends who've been on holiday. Here's one from a foreign country. It's very hot there in the summer.
Island, oh island, in the deep blue sea. Tell me your story through pictures we see. Ripe fruit picked, the day is done. From patchwork fields the people come. Donkeys now with laden backs carefully tread the well-known track. Hairy brown goat and white woolly sheep carefully follow this donkey's feet. He's homeward bound, he's homeward bound. Island, oh island, in the deep blue sea. Tell me your story through pictures we see.
And after summer, it's autumn. That's the time of the year that you find lots of leaves blown down from the trees. Lots of different shapes and sizes. See if I can print an autumn pattern with some of them. Use this beauty. That's a sycamore leaf. Cover it with some paint. With a bit of an old sponge. Turn it over. Onto paper and press it down to print it. Right, see if the prints come out. It's a good shape. Try something a bit smaller now. That's an oak leaf. That'll make a good print. It's good to do this bit on a piece of newspaper. Now print it just there. Do another of those. Press it down hard. And there's the print. One more. Bit of bracken this time. Bracken's got lots of tiny small bits coming off it. So this should make a feathery looking print, if it works. Right. There, an autumn pattern. Yellow, brown and orange. The colours of autumn.
Hello. Do you know what this is? It's bracken. It's all brown and dry at the moment because it's autumn, so it's dying back, but it's usually green. Very good for hiding in for animals, so I'll pop this in a jar. There, be safe there. I brought some other things for you to see that you might find outside this time of the year. Have a look at them. Oh! They're rolling about. Now, what have I got? Conkers. You seen conkers about on the pavement at the moment? Nice round and hard. You can play a good game with conkers. If you thread a string through, and you can roast them to make them hard. And they come inside a conker case. They're horse chestnuts, really, from the horse chestnut tree. These are like conkers, but they're sweet chestnuts, and these can be eaten when they're roasted. And they come off the tree in one of these, a spikey case. And when it falls down, pop, opens up, and the nut's safe inside. What else have I got?
Oh. This is rose bay willow herb. It used to be a flower, but it's a bit dead now. But if you have a close look, you can see where the petals have fallen off, it's left sort of twisty little branches, but they're covered with sort of furry wool. Quite pretty. Put these with the ferns, I think.
Hello. I've got some more autumn things here. These funny-looking pom-pom things come off a plane tree. They're very, very round, but they're quite prickly, really, on the outside. And then I've got lots and lots of different shaped leaves. Here's a great big one. It's quite an interesting shape. Little spikes coming on the outside. And some very small, delicate leaves. These are very light, like feathers almost. Oh, and here's one. It's a bit like a fan or perhaps even a palm tree. That's off a horse chestnut tree, the one that the conkers came off. And, oh, this one here, that's off an oak tree. It's got a very bumpy, ridgy edge to the leaf. Because the leaves are dry, they rustle a lot when the wind blows through them. Pecking at puddles and gusting through alleys, the wind whirls. Hustling in heaps, whispering and skittering, the leaves swirl. Lowering and weeping, grey, damp and leaking, the clouds skirl. Under the hot pipes, in kitchens and in cupboards, drowsily, drowsily, cats curl.
Drowsily, oops, drowsily, cats curl. A conker cat. Fell over. I'll make another one. Right, a conker for his head. Now, he needs a face drawing on him. Some whiskers. Oh. 2 eyes. Whiskers. Oh. And a mouth. Yep. Now, a body. A fat body, I think, for this cat, and stick it on with some plasticine. See if that's enough. There it is, body and head, and not to forget his spiky ears. They're plasticine too, so he can hear. Maybe a mouse. And to finish him off, a stringy tail. That's where the tail goes, underneath. There. I think I'll make another animal to go with this conker cat. You know what it might be? Use this one. Put a face on the front. It's good conkers have got a place where you can put faces on. It's a light circle. All of them have got one. Whiskers again, but he's not a cat. What do you think he might be? It's got a long, stringy tail. Longer tail than the cat. There we go. Have you guessed? He's a conker mouse. Meow. Meow. Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I've been to London to look at the Queen. Pussycat, pussycat, what did you there? I frightened a little mouse under the chair. Conker animals. If you've got any conkers, you could try making some of these. The story today has got lots of conkers in. So, with these leftover conkers, I'll pop them under the clock. Come and have a look. There. They can go right in the middle. Now, before Rosalind tells the story, have a look at the clock and see if you know what time it says today. Do you know? Well, the long hand's pointing straight up, so that means it's something o'clock. And the shorthand is pointing to the number 8. So today the clock says 8 o'clock.
The story today is called Conkers Bonkers. And it's about a man called Mr. Higgins who didn't like winter. He didn't like spring. He didn't even like summer. But he loved autumn. Now, you might think Mr. Higgins liked autumn because of the golden autumn leaves. But that wasn't the reason. Mr. Higgins wasn't interested in leaves. You might think it's because he liked the big red apples hanging on the trees. But that wasn't the reason. Mr. Higgins wasn't interested in apples. So you're probably wondering why Mr. Higgins liked autumn so much. Well, there was only one answer. Conkers. Mr. Higgins was conkers bonkers. Stark raving conkers bonkers. There was an old horse chestnut tree in Mr. Higgins' garden, which he used to watch very carefully. When he saw the young conkers beginning to appear on the tree, he'd take his deck chair out onto the lawn and sit staring up at the tree all day long. Conkers bonkers, said his neighbours. Conkers bonkers, yelled the children over the garden wall. But Mr. Higgins didn't care. He'd got more important things on his mind. One day, Mr. Higgins was out in his garden, staring up at the tree, when suddenly, bonk! Ooh! Said Mr. Higgins. What was that? He looked around and saw a conker, the first conker of the autumn. He picked it up. It was still in its prickly green case, so he carefully put his thumbs in between the prickles and squeezed and pulled, and there, lying inside, pressed up against the creamy white walls of the case, was a big, round, brown conker. He took it out. It felt sticky and damp, and very smooth. Conkers are bonkers too, thought Mr. Higgins. Hard, spiky and prickly on the outside, and round, damp and silky smooth on the inside. What a little beauty. And he put it in his pocket. Well, every day after that, more conkers fell from the tree. Plonk, bonk, plonk, bonk. Mr. Higgins had never had so many conkers before. He put them on the windowsills, along the shelves, around the carpet, in the fridge, on the telly, everywhere. Conkers bonkers, said his neighbours. Conkers bonkers, yelled the children. But Mr. Higgins didn't care. He'd got more important things to think about. As the autumn days passed, fewer and fewer conkers fell from the tree. Plonk, bonk, plonk, bonk. Finally, there was only one conker left, right at the very tip-top of the tree, and there it stayed, swinging gently to and fro. That conker nearly drove Mr. Higgins bonkers. It was the biggest, roundest, fattest, brownest conker in the world. He tried everything to get it down. He tried shaking the tree with his bare hands. But that didn't bring it down. He tried jumping up and down and shouting at it. Come down here, you great silly conker. But that didn't bring it down. He tried whispering to it and coaxing it. Now you listen to me, my little beauty. You come on down here and I'll take care of you. But that didn't bring it down. Conkers bonkers, said his neighbours. Conkers bonkers, yelled the children over the garden wall. I don't care, said Mr. Higgins. I just want that conker. And he kicked the tree in a temper. Blunk! The conker fell from the tree and landed right at Mr. Higgins' feet. He couldn't believe his eyes. He picked it up and danced around the garden. Yippee! Yippee! He shouted. Conkers bonkers, said his neighbours. Conkers bonkers, yelled the children. Yes, but look what I've got, said Mr. Higgins, and showed the conker to the children. It was this big. Ooh, Mr. Higgins, you are lucky, said the children. You wait here a minute, said Mr. Higgins, and he went into his house. When he came out, he was carrying bags and bags of conkers. Here you are, he said. You can have these, and gave them to the children. Oh, thank you, Mr. Higgins, said the children. But what about you? Me? Oh, I'm all right. I've got this. The last conker of the autumn.
There. Which one's the conker and... Nope, not there. Conkers bonkers. This is a game you could try. It might send you a bit conkers bonkers, though. All you need is one conker and 3 beakers, all the same. And you hide the conker under one beaker and then mix them about. Like that. And then you have to guess which beaker the conker's under. Easy. Do you know which one it is? Did you think it was this one? Nope, it wasn't. What about this one? Did you think it was this? Here we go. Yep. Nope. This one, you think? Well, of course it is. There we go. Not a bad game to try and trick some of your friends as well. Now, these leftover conkers can go with the others under the clock.
I'll put these leaves around there as well, I think, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Finish off the pattern.
Leaves can make all sorts of patterns. And through the windows, you can see somebody enjoying a really good game amongst the leaves of autumn. Through the round window. Two dogs. That's Boner. And the small dog, that's Peanuts. Playing in a great big pile of autumn leaves. Peanuts has found a piece of wood. Boner looks like he's got an itchy back. Oh no, he's found something too. Could be a bone. Off they go again. Bo looks like he's trying to pull a branch down. Come on, says Peanuts. Yes, off they go. There's a really big tree that's been cut down. It's a good place to play. Where are they going now? Inside a hollow tree trunk. Oh, here's a horse. Lots of horses. That's a donkey. Off they go again. It's a really good place to explore. A wood in autumn. And off they go home. Hamble's got her woolly hat on. So's Big Ted. Little Ted's warm in his duffel coat. What do you think the toys are dressed for? Winter. That's the coldest season of the year. We often have frost and snow. Have you ever seen the patterns that frost makes on a window pane? Or the pattern of a snowflake? A bit like this pattern that I've cut out in paper. I'll show you how to make one. Just need a bit of paper. Fold it. And fold it again. And then, on those sides that aren't folded, you can cut round a shape. Now, on these two sides, cut out some more shapes. One at a time. And some more shapes up here. And open it out. And it's a snowflake shape. Brightness in the air, you can catch it if you care. You don't have to travel far to catch the twinkle of a star. There is happiness all about, you don't have to wave or shout. Can't you feel it? It's so close, it's right there beneath your nose. There's a brightness in the air, just reach out your hand. It's there, it's there.
Sometimes when it's cold, the best way to keep warm is to keep moving about. Try moving with me. Move your arms around. And your legs. Jump up and down. Oh, clap your hands. It's a good way of keeping warm. Oh, we don't care a rap for the snow, snow, snow. For we clap, clap, clap as we go, go, go. And we don't care a rap for the wind or the storm. We clap, 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 and our hands keep warm. Some folks mumble and some folks moan. Some folks grumble and some folks groan. Not like us, we don't make a fuss. We clap, 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 clap. Some folks shiver and some folks shake. Some folks quiver and some folks quake. Not like us, we don't make a fuss. We clap, 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 clap. Some folks wear a big thick coat or wear thick mufflers round their throats. Not like us, we don't make a fuss. We clap, 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 clap.
Some folks snuggle down in bed and pull the bedclothes over their heads. And some folks seem to want to stay under the bedclothes all of the day. Not like us, we don't make a fuss. We clap, 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 clap.
Oh, we don't care a rap for the wind and snow. For we clap, clap, clap as we go, go, go. And we don't care a rap for the wind and the storm. We clap, 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 clap. We clap, 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 and the hands keep warm. The story today is called just Snow, and it's about some children who go out and have fun in the snow. Snow! Snow, snow, come out in the snow. Snow, snow, just look at the snow. Come out, come out, come out in the snow. I want to know if you like snow. Do you like it? Yes or no? Oh yes, I do like snow. What is snow? We do not know. But snow is lots of fun, we know. What makes it snow? We do not know. But snow is fun to dig and throw. Snow is good for me and you. For men and women. Horses too. Snow is good. It makes you slide. It lets you give your dog a ride. Snow is good for making tracks and making pictures with your backs. We go uphill, the snow is deep. We can't go fast, the hill is steep. We think our dog has gone to sleep. But then we get up top at last. Then down we come down fast. Sometimes we put on long, long feet and walk up every hill we meet. Downhill we fly, downhill we sail. Our dog sails after us on his tail. What a silly thing to do. Are your feet too long for you? Come on, get up, get on your way. We have a lot to do today. Now, take some snow and make a ball. A lot of snowballs make a wall. Put on more snowballs, one by one. A house of snow will soon be done. Now make another ball of snow. Push it, see it go. What a snowball! See it grow. See it grow and grow and grow. What will we make? Let's make a man. Let's make the biggest man we can. we will call our snowman Ned. But first, he has to have a head. His head will have to have a hat. His hat is on. Just look at that. He is so big, he is so tall. He is the biggest man of all. That sun, it came out fast. Do you think Ned is going to last? Keep that sun away from Ned. That sun is going to his head. The biggest snowman of them all is very, very, very small. The way the sun is coming down, there soon will be no snow in town. Take some, save it from the sun. Take all you can and run, run, run. The snow out there will come and go, but snow will keep in here, we know. So we will put this snow away and play with it some other day.
Lots of snow. There's the sheep. Looks quite slippery. Still, nice and warm in those woolen coats. Here's the horses in the field. Trouble is, when it snows, all the grass gets covered with snow and it's hard for the animals to get something to eat. See, that horse is clearing away the snow with a hoof. Now he's getting to the grass, getting something to eat. The dogs seem to enjoy the snow. There's the farmhouse, and here's the farmer with his son. Looks very cold. What are those buckets for? Can you hear all the different noises the animals are making? And here are the sheep. Those buckets have got food in for the sheep to be fed. And the sheep here are the ones that have had lambs, so they need to be in the warm. And some lambs have to be kept especially warm, under a special light. Oh, and look, they're being fed milk out of milk bottles. Special milk bottle with a teat on the end, so the lambs can suck it out. Can you hear them sucking? They seem very hungry. Look at their tails waggling. But outside it's quite snowy. Off the farmers are going to look after the rest of their animals. Can you guess what's in this field? Can you hear them? Some more sheep. Those sheep looked cold in the snow, didn't they? But the baby lambs were out of the cold in the barn. Most baby animals are born in the spring when it's warmer, so they can stay outside. I've got some pictures of baby animals. with their mothers. See if you know them. Duck and ducklings. Horse and foal. Cow and calf. And there's a poem about the spring, and there's a picture to go with it. Have a look. What is spring? Spring is a happening. Suddenly it's there. You can smell spring in the air. Living creatures on the ground welcome spring with leaps and bounds. Fish rise in the pond. Birds burst into song. Flowers open to the sun. Spring is here. New life has begun. Well, it's time for me to go now. But perhaps you'd like to make a weather chart for different times of the year. Or make some things out of conkers, like Ben. Or make a snowflake. Goodbye.
Thank you.